What's going on, everybody? Chris the SemiCollector here, and if you're into video games, figures, signatures, vinyls, and everything else collectible, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Today, we're checking out a new retro console I'll be adding to my collection that actually showed up in this tiny little box. Let's get into it. If you saw the size of the box, you might be able to guess what console came in, so why don't you put your guess down below in the comments. This isn't just a new retro console I'm adding, this is actually my first import console that I'm adding, and it's the PC Engine. For those of you that don't know, the PC Engine is the Japanese or European version of the US/North American TurboGrafx 16. Although these consoles didn't get a lot of love back in the day, they've definitely garnered a cult following throughout the years. These consoles were released by Hudson Soft, and they were meant to go head to head with the powerhouses of Nintendo and Sega. Now, if you think back to the 16-bit wars, you probably don't remember hearing too much about a TurboGrafx 16 in America, or even a PC Engine in other countries. That's because Hudson, in my eyes, didn't really stand a chance against the marketing powerhouses that was the Nintendo Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis. With that said, these are amazing consoles that you should definitely check out though, even though they are hard to come by, especially a lot of the sought after games. And a little bit different from the other 16-bit consoles, they don't use cartridges, Hudson Soft. They actually use something similar to the Sega Master System console with what they call Hue cards. To me, it's pretty crazy to think of the amazing games they were able to fit on these cool little cards, such as the R-Type series, the Bonk series, of course, and a bunch of other amazing games. Now, I've personally been keeping an eye out for one of these consoles to come in at a decent price because I had a few games for it already, so I needed to get the console or a converter for the TurboGrafx 16 to give these guys a go. Thankfully, for me, I was able to get one at a decent price recently, so I got it shipped in from Japan. But as this isn't a North American system and all the games for it aren't from North America, they are in Japanese, so a lot of games you might not be able to play if you don't know how to read Japanese. And for me, that's actually two of the games I already owned that I got, and that is Cyber Knight, and I'm probably gonna pronounce this wrong, but Keto-Chan, which both of these seem like action RPG games. Cyber Knight I got with another game that you're gonna see on this list. It looked really cool anyway, so I wasn't too annoyed to pay the few extra bucks to get this game with the other game I was getting. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like I at least can figure out how to play it. If you know how to play it, let me know down in the comments below. And Keto-Chan I actually got at a flea market recently near my house. It was only a few dollars. Didn't know much about it, looked like a cool little Hue card, the graphic was cool, so I figured I'd give it a go. So it wasn't too disappointed that I can't really play it. It does look like a really cool action RPG, so let me know down in the comments if you know how to read Japanese and you think it's worth it for me learning a little bit at least so I can give these guys a go. Now, the first game I got for the PC Engine about a year or so ago, maybe two by this point, is actually something that I have on the TurboGrafx 16, which some of you may know as JJ and Jeff. The Japanese equivalent is Keto-Chan and Chan. Some people don't only call this the imported version, the Japanese version, some people call this the uncensored version, because there's a few things throughout the game that they actually took away for the North American audiences, or at least changed somewhat. One thing's for sure, the bird poop changed, if I remember correctly, and that's not in the American version. But you also fight people with farts in the Japanese one. Haven't popped in the American one in a little bit, so let me know down in the comments what else is different. Now, Chan and Chan, I believe, is based on a comedy duo from Japan at the time. Just like JJ and Jeff, I guess they're supposed to be the American comedy duo, but just like JJ and Jeff, this is a fun little side-scrolling platformer. So if you have a TurboGrafx 16 PC Engine, or even an emulator, I won't tell anybody, you should definitely get this ROM or this Hue card and pop it in and give it a go. That's one thing I do want to say about these games. Sometimes you can get the PC Engine games a little bit cheaper than the US equivalent, just because there was a few more made in Japan, and you do have to get them shipped in, so shipping costs may be an issue, but sometimes you can find local stores or US sellers on eBay and things like that that have them at a decent price. So it could be a good way to get some of those grails you've been looking for at a lower price, as long as you can read Japanese or it's a game you don't need to really know how to read for. The next game I got, I'm actually unsure of what the name of it is. I can't figure it out, but actually somebody on one of the gamer groups that I'm a part of posted it, talked about how cool it was and they never saw it before. And I really had to give it a go because I like quirky sports game, and this is a quirky dodgeball sports game. You can play as a bunch of different characters, including Terminator cyborgs, barbarians, wizard type people, and a bunch of other things. Gameplay is really fun and it isn't too difficult to get the hang of. You can jump up and down to dodge the balls. You can even catch them and you throw them back. You also have a few teammates around the dodgeball ring where you could toss it to them where they can also throw at the people. So there's a few different angles that you can throw from, which is pretty fun, and I do like the jumping aspect. The sprites in the game are really cool as well because they do go along with each team's little motif. The final game I purchased, and I purchased it right around the same time that I got the PC Engine purchased, so that they arrived right around the same time. This one actually arrived one day early, and it's R-Type 2. As I'm sure anybody that owns a TurboGrafx or a PC Engine knows, they are really great at having shooters. And R-Type 2 is no different. This is an amazing side-scrolling shoot 'em, and I know it's a crowd favorite. If you know shooters, you know this guy. It's a little hard, but you can get the hang of it once you learn the patterns and where all the shots are going. I'm not the best at it, but I definitely enjoy playing this 16-bit killer. This is an amazing side-scroller shooter that stands the test of time, and anyone that likes shooters would want to have this in their collection for the PC Engine or TurboGrafx. Now the last Hue card I have actually isn't a game, it's for the CD attachment here, and it's the Super System card. Now I got this at the same flea market I got Keto-Chan at, from the same guy. He's actually a buddy of mine, known from the local group. He talked me into getting this because he's a big PC Engine guy, and he even has the CD briefcase, which I would really love to have. So I wanted to grab this just in case I came across any CD player in the future so I can give it a go right when I find it. Now, since it is 2020, I'm kind of torn if I do want to look for the CD player and all the games with it, or if I just want to go for the Super SD system. That's like a $300 attachment though, but what's really cool about it is you can stick it on the back of your PC Engine or TurboGrafx and you can play all the PC Engine games, TurboGrafx games, CD-ROM games that you want to play without even needing the CD-ROM attachment or the Hue cards to go along with it. Let me know down in the comments if you think I should stay forever physical and try to get more Hue cards and the CD, or if you think I should go with that attachment, the Super SD system that'll allow me to play everything that I can't find. Well, if you made it to the end of this video, make sure you hit that like button below, and if you haven't yet, hit that bell icon to get notified every time I post a new video. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you in the next one.